Hello everyone! This is not normally something I would make a video for because there's not a whole lot to go on. There's no images. There's absolutely no visual representation for this particular bit of news. But it's a pretty big deal. And there's some things in there I have to talk about as fast as possible, or my Twitter feed is going to be nothing but people demanding me talk about it until the end of time. So I'm going to get it out right now in this video. We're actually going to talk about this. So this is Walmart listings for Legacy Year 2, whatever that ends up being named, and Velocitron Wave 2. Completely unknown stuff. Like, we didn't even know Velocitron was getting a second wave, let alone one that's going to be like 2023. And then Legacy Year 2 stuff, this is pretty early to find this stuff out. We're still waiting for like Wave 3 pictures. Even the leakers haven't gotten a hold of anything Wave 3 yet. So this is a pretty big leak. And it is a very worthwhile leak to talk about. So let us discuss this and see where this is going, because this is a good bit of hype train involved in this one. First off, we start big. Voyager Leo Prime. So, yeah, that's exciting, isn't it? So, Leo Prime, if you're not in the know, that is the American name for Lio Convoy from Beast Wars 2. And the fact that he's getting a brand new figure is pretty freaking exciting. He's never had a full-on US release. The closest we got was the original toy was available on Hasbro's collector shop website back in the day, long before Hasbro Pulse, even before Hasbro Toy Shop. This is just like a thing where they basically just sold Takara stock to people in America online. And yeah, but nothing at retail. So this is going to be the first time a retail shelf has ever seen Lio Convoy, which is going to be super cool. Now, with a lot of these listings, what my brain goes to is like, how are they going to repaint it? How are they going to reuse it? And Lio Convoy's got some options. There's his Flash color scheme. There's his Galva color scheme. Those are pretty obscure things, though. So I'm expecting they might do something like completely... It wouldn't surprise me if they do something completely original with his redeco. So that's actually going to be really interesting to follow. But yeah, super cool. This just means like, so we've got Beast Wars Primal, and we've got now Lio Convoy. It just makes me wonder, like, are we gonna leave it there? Because that leaves Big Convoy out completely. And I wouldn't mind them taking another stab at Big Convoy if it means getting a less shell-reliant version of that design. Next up on the list, another Voyager Tarn. There's really no question here. The IDW Tarn is getting an action figure in the official Transformer line. This is super, super cool. Tarn is a fantastic design. One of my favorite villains from the IDW run of Transformers. And yeah, I think he's a fantastic addition to the mythos. Love Tarn. Love it. No idea how they'd reuse it. He's a very unique design, but I also don't care. Tarn's going to be an awesome one to see. So nearly nothing to discuss there too much. Leader Class Prime Skyquake. This is fascinating for a few reasons. Number one, it's a Leader Class figure out of a Transformers Prime character. That's not expected at all. And more surprising, it's Skyquake, not Dreadwing. Dreadwing was the more popular and well-known character from Transformers Prime. So to do Skyquake first is interesting. Now, that does definitely mean that we're going to get, Dreadwing down the road. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But it is fascinating to know that we are actually getting Skyquake at all. And that's to do a Prime figure at leader scale, I feel is a pretty big gamble on the marketability and nostalgia of Transformers Prime, especially to go with a lesser character first. He was a one-episode character. That's, again, why it surprises me. So it's going to be interesting to see how well it's received. I know Prime fans are going to go nuts. And yeah, it should look cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they execute the design at that size. The other leader is the big one. Well, one of the big ones in this list. But yeah, we have got Armada Megatron. I love how it's abbreviated MEGS. Armada MEGS. Yeah, a full leader size Armada Megatron. Jeez, this is going to be awesome, isn't it? So Armada Megatron doesn't need a whole lot of like super complicated engineering for his transformation, which means I hope a lot of it can be dedicated to good articulation and potentially minicon support. It would be nice if he did come with some kind of minicon, because the whole point of Armada Megatron was how many different ways minicons integrated with that toy. That's why his articulation was so stunted, because he's basically a big gimmicky platform for minicons to plug into and unlock a whole bunch of different things. No idea what it's going to come to, but it's a design that sorely needed better articulation, and that's absolutely what we're going to get out of here. This does lead to some speculation about if Tidal Wave is ever going to happen, because everyone asked for a Tidal Wave at some point. At this size, he would pretty much have to be he'd have to be Commander class if he was still going to combine with Megatron. I really don't think that's necessary. The combination mode is pretty lackluster. I'd really just prefer a really gigantic Tidal Wave. I'm one of those that wants Titan Tidal Wave. But it's super cool. And obviously we're going to get a Galvatron out of that at some point. You know, there's a few repaint options for that mold. So nothing really surprising on that one. Here's a really cool one. Core Class Sludge. We're getting tiny handheld Dinobots. That's an interesting twist. So I've been marveling in the engineering that has gone into the leader class Dinobots from Studio Series. It's been really cool to see how they've reworked those transformations in order to make modern versions that are a lot cleaner, you know, and use the extra bulk of their parts a lot better. This, I feel like, is going to be very reminiscent of the original transformation engineering, much simpler. Obviously, it's core class. It should be fun. It should be fun just to have like a little like desktop-sized team of Dinobots, and we know it's going to be a team because Slug is in this list too. Needlenose was a big surprise out of this list. Needlenose was in 2 different Transformer fan votes and lost both times. So I was kind of assuming that Hasbro just kind of gave up on Needlenose, but no, they're just going to wait till 2023 to actually release it. And it's kind of their ideal toy at this time, because Needlenose is one of those original figures and characters that just wore his vehicle mode on his back. So you're not gonna they're not gonna break the bank engineering a modern Needlenose. They'll clean it up. They'll make it more interesting of a Transformer. They have to. But he's definitely one of those that's more interesting to consider, because is he gonna have his target masters? Because he was a dual target master back in the day. I want to know how his tail fin attaches, because one of the rarest things to find is a Needlenose that still has his tail fin. It's just super hard. That thing came off so easily. And then, of course, what else do you do out of that mold? And because he's basically just a robot wearing a jet on his back, that does let you do a lot of potential things. I could see an Armada thrust retooled out of that. Like that's where my head goes first, since we're doing a bunch of Armada stuff apparently. There's probably plenty of other things. Like it's going to be nice just to have a deluxe size jet again. I feel like they've been relegated to the Voyagers for a long time now. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool. Hang on. It's actually vodka. I shouldn't be surprised the day has come. The day has arrived. We are actually trying Hotshot again. For the first time since Universe 2, we are going to have a proper attempt at a Hotshot. Now, keep in mind, it does not list which Hotshot. You know, for all I know, this could be Energon Hotshot, and everyone's going to be disappointed. But at the worst, like, it has to be the Armada one because that's the most popular and well-known incarnation of the character. And obviously the one that needs the most help. So what is it going to be? I mean, the gimmick's going to be gone. The Axel Zuka's definitely going to be gone. Is the Minicon going to be gone? Probably. You know, it doesn't look like we have any kind of Minicon. You know, if they couldn't get a Minicon into the budget of a Titan class toy, I don't have faith in them getting a Minicon into the Deluxe class. So let's not assume that we're getting Jolt. Let's just assume we're getting Hotshot. You know, and that's fine. If that lets Hotshot be just a dedicated, really good transforming version of the original character, fine. You know, that's what the character needs. He desperately needs a proper, well-articulated, cartoon-accurate version. You know, I will give Hotshot that much credit. He's the icon of Transformers Armada. He does deserve better than he's gotten. Okay? There. I said it. All right? I am actually looking forward to seeing what they do with this toy. I'm looking forward to the inevitable Hotshot repaint. You know what I want? I want that Lost Smokescreen repaint. I actually liked how Smokescreen colors looked on that toy. The Deluxe Junkion 1. Now, because it's labeled Junkion 1, I am assuming that there is more to this, or there is another Junkion out there somewhere, at least. There could be 2 or 3 or 4, for all I know. I'm not sure what you're going to do with Junkions at the Deluxe price point, though. Because, like, you already have Wreck-Gar and Junkie at the Voyager scale in Studio Series, and that seems to work fine. I don't know how you're going to rehash Junkions that way. Unless it's like... the only thing I'd think of is, like, if they wanted to make him a little bit more gimmicky, like Cup. Like how Junkions fall apart and pull themselves back together. So if they wanted to do the same gimmick as Studio Series Cup, where, like, arms and legs could fall off and, like, reattach. Okay, that's about the only, like, gain I think you have of doing it at a deluxe size. Otherwise, I really don't know what the point is. I really don't. It's just, it's weird. It's just, I don't know. It's going to be small Junkion, I guess. Not even a name attached to it. It's just Junkion 1. Alright, Core Sound Blaster. I don't think we really need to talk about this. It's going to be the Core Class Sound Wave repainted into Sound Blaster. No big shock there. Alright, and there's Slug. We talked about Slug. Interesting that it's Sludge and Slug that are on this list and no Grimlock. The leader is not the first one out. That's kind of strange. Now, Grimlock is a surefire sale, so they might be holding him back, or his listing may just not be in the computer yet. One thing about listings like this is sometimes they trickle in, and a few days later you find out there's actually more to the list than what was actually revealed. So, who knows? Whoever dived in to find these might dive in there again tomorrow and find, twice as many things. We don't know. And that's one reason why I'm hesitant to talk about lists like this, because it seems like every time I get ready to, a few more names pop up, and I just kind of have to sit back and go, okay, I'll give it another day just to make sure it's complete, and then the next day there's a few more. I was like, okay, fine. But yeah, okay, so once again, handheld Dinobots, awesome. Deluxe Shadows. Now, this is Velocitron. This is Velocitron Wave 2. We have Deluxe Shadows. I think it's interesting to point out that the Legacy Deluxes are listed at $22.99 and the Velocitron Deluxes are listed at $24.97. Interesting slight switch up to the price point there. Shadow S. I don't think it's going to be called Deluxe Shadows. I don't think we have a character named Shadows. So, presumably, it's Shadow Striker. I think that's what everyone is going with. Now, since it's the Velocitron line, it's probably very unlikely that we are getting any kind of... It's probably very unlikely that we are getting any modern, like, new tooling. I think Cosmos is going to be our one boon from this toy line. Well, him and Override, I should say. So most likely we are looking at a repaint and a retool of some sort, and we just kind of had to figure out, okay, what toy out there would actually make for a really good Shadow Striker? Do you retool? Do you retool Override into Shadow Striker? Do you go that way? We just made a girl mold, so let's make the girl mold again. I mean, you could go that route. You could retool Elita 1. That could theoretically work. The vehicle mode really doesn't suit Shadow Striker, but the robot mode you could probably get away with. I don't know. We don't genuinely know. We have quite a few female figures out right now, and hey, they're actually using individual molds. They're using different molds from each other, guys. So we will see. Yeah, cool to see Shadow Striker getting out of Cyberverse, though. I really like when those standout characters escape their original fictions. This has me excited. Deluxe Crasher in the Velocitron line. So that makes the most sense in the world since Crasher is a race car. So let speculation begin. What's it going to be? Now, pie in the sky, hope of hopes, is that this is actually a completely new mold for Wave 2. I really don't foresee that happening. As much as I would love it, I hate to admit it, I don't think that's going to happen. I think, all likelihood, this is going to be an Earthrise Mirage retool. Mostly because the Earthrise version of that mold hasn't been, well, I guess it has. I guess it's being redone as Leadfoot, isn't it? So maybe I'm off base on that one. I don't know. Excuse me. I've been talking a lot. So this could still be a retool of Mirage. I feel like that just is I've said it before. I feel like every Mirage needs to be redone into Crasher. Or they could shock us and just do something that actually does look like the original GoBot character. I do think you can get away with it if you change it up enough so it doesn't resemble the Machine Robo toy. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. So, eyes on that. That should be really cool. Voyager Hot Rod. I don't think there's any mystery to this one. I think it's just going to be the Studio Series Hot Rod done up in his burgundy colors. Or his burgundy, maroon, whichever side of the red spectrum it falls on. The Hasbro designers on Instagram were talking about, wanting to do movie accurate colors on Hot Rod, and then Hasbro, the the upper branch on Hasbro overrode that and said, well, no, Hot Rod is red and orange, keep him red and orange, but that's not accurate to how he looks in the movie. So I'm willing to bet this is going to be a screen accurate version of Hot Rod, similar to how they did toy accurate versions of Galvatron and Cyclonus. That's an obvious way to go for a character that really doesn't have too many repaint options out there. So that's where my head is going on that one. I don't think it's going to be anything like surprising or special. Could be wrong. All right, this is another non-news topic. Gen Project TG2. This just seems to be the reissue of Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun 2. So not really shocking there. This is the one where we have some fun speculation. Velocitron is getting a second leader class toy besides Scourge. And that just puts you in the mindset, who is it actually going to be? The mind races, doesn't it? Now, you could reuse the Prime mold again and give it more of a movie aesthetic, or you could go for like Hero G2 colors, but I don't think that's likely. The trick to this one is we don't have too many leader class figures that would be right for repainting or even retooling. For something that has the Velocitron theme to it. It has to fit into a race theme. So, like Blitzwing, we don't have any reuse of on hand right now. So I'm not actually thinking like we're gonna get there are repaint options for Blitzwing. You could do Overcharge, but I don't think you're going to get that out of a toy line based on racing, you know? A tank and a jet doesn't really have much of a use on a racetrack. So it just kind of leaves us to wondering what leader class toys do we have available that would actually work in this theme that hasn't been reused yet. And that's the fascinating part. I'm not really sure. For all I know, we haven't even seen the leader class toy that this is going to be derived from, I don't know. It's a fascinating one. I think this is the most fun one to speculate on just because, there's so few options out there. But I think that makes you stretch your imagination a lot more and figure out how could it work if this is actually how it works. So that is where my brain is going right now. But that's going to be it for the leaked list. Now, these are all from a reputable source that has been correct in the past. These are all leaked from Walmart computers. So this is in the system. This is going to be out. I will remind people, they do sometimes throw curveballs in, and these are just placeholder names. So obviously, leader is, is not going, obviously Leader 2 is not going to be the name of this particular toy. In that sense, I would expect Crasher to likely be named Fracture, unless, trademarks have freed up since 2007. And, yeah, and really, take a lot of this with a grain of salt, because we genuinely don't know if these names really are pointing to the exact right characters. Could be another Black Convoy Scourge situation. But that's just something to keep in the back of your head. I think, for the most part, this is what we can expect to get. And we are left to wonder what some of these other items are, which is the fun part. So, thank you guys for watching and speculating along with me. This is going to be an exciting time for Transformers, and I cannot wait for our first look at a lot of this stuff. And yes, I'm looking forward to a Hotshot toy, because I have hope in my heart that he will finally be done right. I am an optimist that way. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.